Before you book a flight in 2026, there's something you need to understand. Flying isn't what it used to be, and the changes happening right now are bigger than most people realize. For decades, air travel followed a predictable routine. You'd buy a ticket, show up at the airport, check in, go through security, and board your flight. Sure, there were delays, occasional lost bags, and long security lines, but the system itself was familiar. You knew what to expect. But in 2026, that sense of familiarity is starting to disappear. New technology, stricter airline policies, automated systems, and changing passenger rules are quietly reshaping the way we travel. And if you don't know what's changed, even a small mistake could cost you your flight. A lot of travelers assume that if they've flown before, they already know the process. They think experience equals preparation. But that's not necessarily true anymore. The way you traveled 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, might not work today. Airports are introducing new digital systems. Airlines are tightening their policies. And security procedures are becoming faster, but also less forgiving. What used to be handled by a person at a counter is now often handled by an automated gate or a digital checkpoint. And the difference between a smooth trip and a stressful one can come down to a single detail, one of the biggest changes you'll notice in 2026 is the growing reliance on digital identification and automated check-in systems. Many airports around the world are moving toward biometric technology. Instead of showing your passport at multiple checkpoints, you might scan your face or your fingerprint. Instead of a printed boarding pass, you might use a digital version linked directly to your ID. In theory, this makes everything faster and more efficient. You spend less time in lines and more time moving through the airport. But there's a catch. These systems rely heavily on accurate data. If the information in your booking doesn't match your ID exactly, the system may flag you automatically in the past. A small mistake in your name, like missing a middle name or having one letter wrong, could often be fixed at the airline counter. A staff member would make a quick adjustment and you'd be on your way. But with automated systems, those small mistakes can become bigger problems. The system doesn't negotiate. It doesn't use judgment. It just compares the data, and if it doesn't match, it stops the process. That can mean extra screening, delays, or in some cases, being denied boarding altogether. Imagine arriving at the airport with plenty of time before your flight. You walk up to the automated gate, scan your passport, and wait for the green light. But instead, the screen flashes red. It says your booking doesn't match your identification. Maybe your ticket says Muhammad Ali, but your passport says Muhammad Ali. To a human, that might look like a simple spelling variation. To an automated system, it's a mismatch. Now, you're pulled aside for additional checks. The line grows longer behind you. The clock keeps ticking. And suddenly, the smooth trip you expected becomes stressful and uncertain. Another major shift happening in 2026 involves carry-on baggage. For years, many travelers treated carry-on rules as flexible suggestions rather than strict limits. People would bring slightly oversized bags, heavy backpacks, or extra items that technically didn't meet the airline's policy. And often, they got away with it. Gate agents were busy, flights were boarding quickly, and enforcement was inconsistent. But that's changing. Airlines are under pressure to maximize efficiency, reduce delays, and increase revenue. One of the easiest ways to do that is by enforcing baggage rules more strictly in 2026. More airlines are introducing carry-on weighing at the gate, not just at check-in, but right before boarding. If your bag is too heavy, you may be required to check it immediately and pay a fee. And because this happens at the gate, it often comes with higher charges than standard checked baggage. It also creates delays, especially if multiple passengers have oversized bags. And those delays can ripple through the boarding process, causing stress for everyone involved. Picture this scenario. You've packed carefully, but you didn't weigh your carry-on at home. At the gate, the airline agent asks you to place your bag on a scale. It's 2 kilograms over the limit. You're told you have to check it. But the overhead bins are already filling up, and the boarding process is moving fast. Now you're scrambling to remove valuables, electronics, or important documents from your bag, while other passengers wait behind you. It's a stressful situation that could have been avoided with a simple check at home. Security technology is also evolving rapidly. Artificial intelligence is being introduced into airport systems to improve safety and efficiency. These AI systems analyze patterns in bookings, passenger data, and behavior. Their goal is to identify potential risks before they become problems. For most travelers, this means faster processing and shorter lines. But it also means that unusual booking patterns can trigger additional screening. For example, last-minute ticket purchases, inconsistent passenger details, or unusual payment methods might be flagged by automated systems. This doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything wrong. It just means the system wants to take a closer look. But that closer look can mean extra questions, secondary screening, or delays at the gate. And when flights operate on tight schedules, even small delays can make a big difference. Another change many travelers are noticing is the reduced flexibility once boarding begins. In the past, if you were running late, a gate agent might hold the door for a few extra minutes, or they might make an announcement asking for you by name. But as airports become more automated, those human decisions are becoming less common. Automated boarding gates follow strict schedules. Once the system says boarding is closed, it's closed. The door shuts, and the plane prepares for departure. That means arriving at the gate just in time is becoming riskier. If the boarding process is automated and the final call passes, there may be no one available to override the system. And that can be frustrating, especially if you can see the plane still sitting at the gate. Another factor to consider in 2026 is the increasing use of dynamic pricing and personalized fares. Airlines are using more advanced algorithms to adjust ticket prices based on demand, timing, and passenger behavior. Two people searching for the same flight at the same time might see different prices. This makes it more important than ever to book carefully, compare options, and double-check details before confirming a ticket. Seat selection is also becoming more complicated. Many airlines now charge extra for specific seats, even in economy class. Window seats, aisle seats, and seats closer to the front may all come with additional fees. If you don't select a seat in advance, you might be assigned one automatically at check-in. And that seat might not be ideal, especially on long flights. Another subtle change is the shift toward stricter boarding groups and priority systems. Airlines are trying to make boarding faster and more organized. That means sticking closely to assigned boarding groups. If you try to board early, the system may reject your pass automatically. In the past, a gate agent might let it slide. Now, the automated scanner simply says no. Even the in-flight experience is changing. Some airlines are reducing complimentary services and moving toward a more pay-for-what-use model. That means meals, drinks, entertainment, and even carry-on bags might come with extra fees depending on the airline and the ticket type. Travelers who don't read the details carefully might be surprised by these charges, so what does all of this mean for you as a traveler in 2026? It means preparation matters more than ever. The margin for error is smaller. The systems are faster, but also stricter. And the responsibility for a smooth trip falls more heavily on the passenger. Before you book your flight, take a few minutes to review the airline's policies. Check baggage limits, seat selection rules, and boarding procedures. Make sure the name on your ticket matches your ID exactly. Not almost exactly. If you have a middle name on your passport, include it. If your passport uses a specific spelling, use that spelling on your booking before leaving for the airport. Weigh your carry-on bag. Check the airline's size and weight limits. Make sure your liquids and electronics are packed according to security guidelines. And give yourself more time than you think you need. Arriving early is no longer just a suggestion. It's a smart strategy at the airport. Pay attention to announcements and signs. Follow your boarding group. Keep your documents ready. And stay aware of the time. Automated systems don't wait for late passengers. Flying in 2026 isn't necessarily harder. But it is different. The experience is becoming more digital, more automated, and more structured. Travelers who adapt to these changes will move through airports smoothly. Those who rely on old habits may find themselves facing unexpected challenges. Think of modern travel as a system that rewards preparation. The more organized you are, the easier your trip will be. Double-check your details. Follow the rules. And give yourself time to handle any surprises. Because in today's airports, small mistakes can have big consequences. A single letter in your name, a few extra kilograms in your bag, a late arrival at the gate, any of these could mean the difference between boarding your flight and watching it leave without you. So before you fly in 2026, take a moment to prepare. Check your documents. Review your booking. Understand your airline's rules. And give yourself the time and flexibility to handle the new systems. Because the future of flying is faster, smarter, and more automated than ever before. And the travelers who understand that will be the ones who enjoy smoother, stress-free journeys. And if you want more travel insights, tips, and updates that can save you time, money, and frustration, make sure to subscribe and stay informed. Because in a world where travel rules are constantly changing, the best thing you can pack is the right information.